Part 2. So the next part that comes up for what's else is contributing to this headache is I'm seeing dad stuff. And so feeling abandoned by dad. So there's like a piece inside of you that's like, yeah, mom takes responsibility, but what about dad? Right? Like at least she feels bad about not being the perfect mom or whatever, right? That creates softness, but there's still, and like to where like it actually is like we have to move him farther away. That was kind of just like an instinctual, he doesn't belong that close behind me, he belongs over there because I'm actually mad at him and I want to tell him that I'm mad at him. So just, I'm having you say to your dad, I'm so mad at you and I can't even tell you. Because you're dense, you don't hear me. When I tried telling you in the past, it's like water off a duck. I'm your son, you don't treat me like I'm your son. I mean, it's like screaming. I'm saying it, but it's like screaming, like rage. Like, you don't treat me like I'm your son. You don't care if I'm okay. And I'm over here just keeping it in because I can't even get it out at you. Like, it's like, you'd still like to punch him in the face. And then dad, like, it's kind of like a noodle. So like, you can't, like, it doesn't hit because he's kind of like just flows in and out. So the energy, you're like, I'm trying to talk to you. That's exactly what you do. Right? You're oblivious. It's not my responsibility. It's your life. My life when I was a kid. So I'm just watching this arguing. How does it feel accurate?
Mm-hmm.
So we can see an argument, right? We don't need to like hash it out fully, I don't think. But dad's missing a center. So I'm going to ground him. I'm going to give him his center. So this might actually be like a soul retrieval for him. I'm not sure yet. But like, why can't you just listen to your son? It might be ancestral support. I'm not sure yet. We're going to see. It actually looks like it's some self-esteem. It's like such low self-esteem. Oh my gosh, she's scratching my leggings. It's actually like such low self-esteem that it's like, I can just be invisible and then I don't matter and nobody knows. But so this, his core helps him. So it is like a soul retrieval where he had lost some of that stuff. Do you notice a shift when dad has that? Because it looks, when I'm reading this, like finally I can hold you accountable. And that offers relief. I can hold you accountable. And dad's energy is still swirly, like he doesn't know what it's like to be held accountable yet. Like he's still kind of getting into his new vibration of not being a noodle and being more solid. And before it was like he could only see himself, right? Because if you have really low self-esteem, and I don't know if it's really low, but it was like he could only see himself. So this way he can actually see you. He can actually see you. So go ahead and just see what it feels like for dad to actually see you for the first time. I guess she's our celebratory noise back there. Your dad can see you for the first time. Does it change anything with dad being able to see him? Yeah, so I see that he did this. I don't know if it showed on the camera. So I think you have to let it come in, because it was 44 years of not being seen now. And so go ahead, like, that's a long time. It's been 44 years of not being seen. That's gonna be a part of Chris that needs healing. So if I'm kind of blending internal family systems with family constellations now. So the internal family system part is like, oh, well, I'm being seen, but it's not like all the relief I've wanted, because I'm still pissed at you. But it's taking it down, but then it's like, but what do I do? Because you've still hurt me for 44 years. But we're gonna let's just let him look. Go ahead, show him. Let him look at all the ways for 44 years it's really hurt you. And then he's even looking at mom for the first time now, too. Over here. And it's, one of the statements that's coming up is, I didn't give my position as your father the power that it deserves. Right? Like, he undermines the importance of being a father. Which enough people do, right? As a therapist, we're always like, what was it like with your mom and dad? Right? But not everybody's a therapist, I guess. What does that feel like? He's acknowledging that he's undermined his position of a father. And in his doing that, the next step is, I was not there for you the way a father should be there for his son. A lot of your life. And I yelled at you too much. You're gonna join the constellation because you want attention? I should have put you in the room before I started. Are you feeling any shifts?
Just a little bit of relief.
Are you still at a 5, or? I'm gonna know you're not climbing on my healing table right now.
Not quite.
Okay, so it's still shrinking. Okay, so you guys can see it's working. I mean, he's like petting the cat now. He's moving a little bit more than just down there devastated. Debilitated was really the word. You know what? Let's say that. Dad, I've been debilitated without you. There's a lot of grief there. I've been debilitated. These headaches that I've been suffering from are a metaphor for how debilitated my life has been without you being there for me. Oh, and he moved closer. So he moved closer, and I don't know if you can feel it. It's like, I don't even want you closer. I learned to live without you. And so I'm just holding space for that layer to clear for Chris. Because it's anger, it's resentment, it's a coping skill. Like, I don't need you then, right? And if we reject the ancestry, even as imperfect as they are, in most cases, I haven't seen a reason not to, but I know some people are like not ready for that, but you don't do it before you're ready for it. But the lineage, we need it healed so that they can support the descendants. So I always go for healing, even if it's horrific things. What happened to that person that they brought that into the lineage? Because you want the whole lineage purified. I think we might be able to pause it with this, or at least for the sake of the video. It's just let your dad say to you, you can have time. Have more time. I'm here closer when you're ready. It's interesting. This actually looks like it became something else, but I'm not getting a clear thing with my eyes open on what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and walk into it again and see what I notice. So it's dad's lost hopes and dreams. So like unprocessed grief from life. And that might have been what kind of took away his self-esteem. So he has more work he needs to do himself. We had cleared that curse off of you. Was that from dad's side or mom's side?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Because I wonder if he was blocked too. So it feels like, Chris, you're ready to say it feels good to be seen finally. I'm not ready to forgive you. I'm not ready to let you closer, but it feels good to be seen. And then I felt your shifts in your body. What level are you at, a 3 yet?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do, because I integrate these different modalities, can you ho'oponopono with the part of yourself that's still angry at dad and doesn't want to let it go? It actually, I'm looking at it from internal family systems. It's a protector, and it's protecting another wounded part. And this other wounded part, the other wounded part is young. So it's actually, it's mad that, it's like mad that mom left. It's mad that he couldn't keep mom happy. It's mad that he didn't ask you what was going, like how you were doing. Like he didn't check in and like give you coping skills or emotional support during that time. Is that true?
That's just how I remember.
It's usually true. So that anger is like protecting you from that part being hurt. So can you just, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, run some ho'oponoponos towards the anger and towards that part that was mad that dad didn't respond differently at that young age? And so the I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, it invites God in to help lift the burden. And so it's not necessarily, it's more complicated than just the 4 sentences, right? There's humility, there's forgiveness, there's love, there's oneness, there's gratitude, and there's radical responsibility for why life is showing up, mirroring our psyche to us in a certain way. So when you take radical responsibility for everything that's happened to you, you now have the power to change it. That is one of the important things to know. So just kind of like a dream, everything is you. Is that lowering your headache more?
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel like it's going to get it all the way to 0? Can you tell while you're doing it, or?
It's pretty low.
All right. So I'm going to pause there. If He needs a little bit more, but you guys get it. We went from, it was a spike, he was debilitated, he has more peace and rest on his face, he's doing a meditation. We're going to be able to go hang out today and probably, I don't know, play with 9 kittens. Well, Mom's kind of a kitten too. Well, Mom wants to go make more.